So let's just start talking about it now. How are we going to handle friendly fire title? Because I've definitely ground pounded into someone else's grenade before, and when I switched to heavy, I've definitely given my brothers a melt-a-bath trying to help us clear the gaunts around him. Or just been shooting warrior and then bros between me and our target. Yeah, no, seriously, the amount of people who just walk directly in front of heavy while he is in heavy stance, like definitely either focusing on an enemy with the heavy bolter, melta, whatever, plasma. I think plasma might be a little bit easier to deal with when it comes to friendly fire. But yeah, there's been so many people just directly walking in front of the melta, directly walking in front of the heavy bolter. That's going to be a huge issue for some players. Some players are going to get absolutely exposed by how much they did not pay attention to how many teammates they walked in front of while they were aiming down the sight and in the middle of spraying their mag. I know it will, but I'd rather not mix Helldivers in with my Space Marines. In all fairness, that's one of the reasons I stopped playing. While I get as part of the charm, it drives home just how hilariously expendable Helldivers are. There's friendly fire in Helldivers. Oh yeah, because it sounds like, yeah, he got hit. It sounds like he got hit by a few friendly Helldivers. We assaults and bulwarks need to get along with our snipers and devastators and vice versa. Devastators. Yeah, sniper. As far as snipers go, they're probably good for friendly fire. Bulwarks, same deal. I mean, maybe watch out for your power whirls. Yeah, the assault class, heavy. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. There's a lot of splash damage. Not to mention, yeah, just slamming into your teammates' grenades. I feel like you can be careful with that one for sure. But I feel like in the middle of a battle, if you have a heavy with a melta, just stay away from him. Like, that's kind of rough. So since that's a thing that's coming, might as well start talking about it now. Yes, friendly fire is coming, so you need to pay attention where you aim, especially with AoE weapons like meltas and plasma incinerators. Yes, but like, let's be honest. It's not so much about like where I'm aiming. It's more about my teammates not paying attention to it and walking directly into my melta, walking directly into my multi-melta. But yeah, obviously I'm going to be paying attention to where I'm aiming. But yeah, I mean, dude, I agree. Friendly fire with the heavy in general does seem pretty rough, dude. Like, oh man, dude, on launch, when we actually see the friendly fire modifier, we are gonna see some funny clips, dude. I cannot wait. Thoughts, discuss, have a great weekend. This really will be either stupid, hilarious, or both. Imagine I help bro kill a Hellbert and he's doing his execution with me and our brother kneeling for the Emperor. I see a cultist behind bro and fry him right as the animation ends because I shot it with my Inferno pistol and his leg was in the blast radius. Top keck. Okay. Yeah, pretty funny. Okay. I gotta admit though, the way this guy worded this post, it was kind of all over the place. But yeah, no, seriously, they were on topic here, which is good. But yeah, so like his descriptions of dying in Helldivers is pretty funny. Overall, I'm definitely a little bit worried about friendly fire. To be completely honest, for one of two reasons: splash damage, and then players not paying attention and just walking directly in front of your weapon fire. Dude, that has happened so often in this game, and even without friendly fire, it can be a little bit annoying because it just feels like someone's just stepping in front of you in line, you know, like cutting off your attack for their attack. Like, man, I got this enemy. Move on to the other enemy. But yeah, honestly, when people are basically just walking directly in front of your fire, dude, yeah, honestly, also, if you see a heavy stance, just give him room, maybe. Maybe back up a little bit. I don't know. This is definitely going to be weird, dude. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, I think I have an idea of how it could work. And then just remember, like, oh, wow. Dude, shock grenades are going to be crazy. Like, oh, man. Dude, yeah, friendly fire is definitely going to be something we have to navigate. So, yeah, I felt like going into the discussion here to see if people have any ideas how to circumvent friendly fire, or at the very least, maybe point out some things that could be very dangerous, like the Melta Heavy. Poorly, I think. In all seriousness, I don't think it'll be too bad with teams that are on comms, but AI bots seem to prioritize standing directly between your barrel and the enemy above all else, so that'll be interesting. All right, dude, okay, first of all, I would just not play friendly fire with bots. That's crazy. But, I mean, fair. Getting torn apart by friendly fire feels like it would be a much bigger deal in Space Marine 2 than Helldivers. So I hope after a couple times, most players would go out of their way to avoid it. I think friendly fire enabled missions are going to need a bit of a loadout adjustment. Melta weapons are going to become a lot less popular. Yeah, no, everyone's pretty much on the same boat with melta weapons. They can potentially be a detriment to the team. That's an interesting element. I do have to agree. That's an interesting element because now meltas right now are very powerful. So it's kind of funny that there's actually a drawback to them outside of, their lack of range. Now there's a destructive drawback to it where potentially you can hit your teammates with splash damage. So even though the weapon's really effective, it does have a unique element in friendly fire where this is probably going to be the most dangerous weapon out of all of them. I kind of like that. I kind of like it, but I also want to make sure that friendly fire isn't just a pain to deal with. Like every time you spawn in, you get like 5 minutes into an operation and then everyone dies. You know what I mean? That's if it's like that repeatedly, I can imagine people aren't going to like friendly fire very much, and I also imagine there's going to be plenty of people playing friendly fire who don't even know they're playing friendly fire. I mean, dude, we still have people who don't even understand how unmatched zeal works. Yes, I've seen that quite a bit recently. All ranged controlled fields of fire with voice comms, and it is justifiable because it is going to be the next endgame content as I understand it. Okay, so we need more communication because it is going to be more difficult. So that's an interesting idea for sure. Like obviously you can just get on voice comms and be like, hey, duck. But here's the thing. First of all, not everyone's going to listen to you. Some people are just going to hear what you say. It's going to go right out the other ear and they're going to die anyway. I see that a lot in other games. I haven't really used voice comms that much in Space Marine unless it's like I really have to point something out where like I see somebody mess up unmatched zeal or something. In those moments, I'm like, hey, you should take a moment to read the team perks. Our other teammate there needed that heal. That's normally when I jump on voice comms. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So here's the other thing. Not everyone is going to speak the same language as well. So random queuing into friendly fire is still going to be pretty insane, at least in my opinion. It's definitely going to be something that we have to work around, regardless if you have communications or whatever. Like some players, like me, actually, sometimes we develop some pretty bad habits, like throwing crack grenades into biovores that jump at you. So I imagine there's a lot of little bad habits that we haven't really noticed because we haven't had friendly fire. But yeah, with that said, honestly, I do agree that it's going to be a little bit difficult to navigate this. However, I do like the unique element of this. I don't think it's something that we have to do. Like when it comes to modifiers, it just feels like extra content and I like it. But they're noticeably pretty harsh, and I think they should be, considering that, we've done so much in this game already. I think there needs to be something that's a little bit it's difficulty, but it's also outside the box, where if you navigate it correctly, it won't be that difficult. But if you just outright ignore the rule, then it will be increasingly more difficult. So it's definitely going to benefit players who are paying attention and that have a good strategy. I could see melee suddenly becoming more reliable. People rely less on meltas and plasmas and more on bolters. Could be an interesting shakeup to the meta. No, for real, there's definitely going to be a alternative meta for friendly fire, for sure. I do think meltas are going to be a little bit more dangerous than the plasmas. I feel like plasmas are a little bit slower. You can kind of pay attention to them a lot easier. With meltas, they kind of just come out of nowhere. It's burst damage. Plasmas are burst damage as well, but it also has a charge up, so I mean, you could potentially eye that they're charging a plasma, notice where they're aiming, and then, move accordingly. With the meltas, it's like, oh wow, I just got hit by a melta, did not notice that. That's pretty much how it's going to work with the meltas. But the melee's interesting, I think. See, here's the shakeup. I'm going to have to make sure that my stomps are safe stomps, or I should go into shoulder bashing. Or at the very least, maybe if I'm playing sniper, I can get some really nice shadow stabs with the combat knife. that I imagine will be very good, because it's very accurate as well. If you hit a teammate with a shadow stab, you would have to be aiming for them, or they would have to jump in your way. Sheesh, man. I seriously can't wait to see all of the clips of people just jumping in the melee combos, or there's going to be some ridiculous ways people are losing runs with friendly fire. But again, I do think it is I won't say it's a necessary modifier. However, it's one of those modifiers that feel like, let's see what they're cooking with this one. Let's see what we can do with this. It sounds interesting, and it definitely shakes up the meta. I do agree with that. So it is going to feel like a different experience. I think that's pretty much all it really needs to deliver on. Even though it's going to be pretty frustrating to deal with, I think it's going to create some great moments. But yeah, I can imagine this modifier probably won't be everyone's favorite, and and it's for good reason too. Again, with the amount of people that we see kind of mess up on things like mortal wounds or team perks, anything like that, I can imagine we're gonna have some pretty bad plays with the friendly fire modifier, 100%. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this one. Let me know in the comments if you have a certain strategy that you want to take into friendly fire. I'm thinking like accuracy is going to be very important, so I will be playing sniper most likely. Not to mention I can stay away from my teammates that way, so I won't get into too much trouble. But yeah, ultimately, I'm definitely excited for friendly fire. So I do think I will be playing the bolt sniper, something a little bit accurate. Dude, is the LF going to be able to like just obliterate your teammates? You know what I mean? Like, how much damage do you think friendly fire is going to bring in? Because if it's anything close to the damage that we actually get out of some of these weapons, we're gonna potentially like one-shot our teammates, right? It's gonna be really ugly. But yeah, we will see. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this one, and thanks for watching.